I am so blessed. I am so grateful. As we enter the blessing of this time and quiet together, may your heart feel all that makes it spill over. I breathe in and I give thanks. I breathe out and I give thanks. For the moments when my heart has cracked open and made room for love, I give thanks. For the moments when your heart has held mine, I give thanks. We are so blessed. Wherever we are, God is. I weep thanks. I laugh thanks. I sing thanks. I live thanks. And when you're ready, lift your eyes and your heart. Dry your glasses. Toda Rava. Oh, I really can't see. Thank you. Amen. Thank you. Yeah, I might need that. Oh, that was an unexpected gift. Everything works together for those who love God and are called according to God's purpose. Wowza. So the words I wrote are, there are some moments when I realize with clarity that each time I share a talk, I'm really sharing the same message. And the message is really trying for me to find an answer to the question, how am I answering the call? How am I answering God's call to love and live according to God's plan for me? And as I share my grappling, my crying, my joy in living into that answer, I invite you along for the ride. Not just to ride with me, but to know in sharing our stories that we share our answers together and we help each other along the way. Last year, when I spoke and shared my spiritual journey, basically because I had a realization as I was rocking Eli on the Friday afternoon before I was set to do this big weekend here that was really heart-pounding, like, oh, is the hybrid going to work? Are they going to like me? Am I going to like them? It's like a blind date. And I had about 15 talks written and stopped and written and stopped. And that afternoon, holding that baby, God got through. Share your journey. And so the lens last year of sharing my kind of look back on the moments in my life where I could see, in hindsight, that I was listening to God's call even though I might have felt confused or lost or heartbroken, that somehow in the yes, the path was appearing because the path is the path. And the grace was there for me to listen. So really, every talk I've given you in the past year has been the same thing. How am I listening? This weekend, I woke up yesterday morning to a phone call at 4 o'clock from a friend sharing the news that his brother had transitioned. And their family was so full of that moment of saying goodbye to a 48-year-old who didn't feel ready to go, who felt like he hadn't lived his call or his purpose. And my experience with that kind of death is as a minister. I have not experienced the loss of a parent or a child or a sibling. I am so blessed. I have known losses and I have known grief that breaks my heart open, but I have not known that kind of loss. And so in my step back and look at their loss, I can trust. They won't necessarily find a blessing in his going, but they will find the blessing in their time together and how his months of physical suffering drew their family together to care for him. And he may not know how his life and his call and his purpose affected others, but his life did affect others, just like all of us, affect people in ways we do not understand and may not ever get to recognize. And then yesterday in the afternoon, instead of cleaning here, I was wadding up tissues again at a beautiful memorial service for the mother of friends that we grew up with. Dan is one of my sister's closest and longest time friends, and his mom passed away a couple of weeks ago. And so to listen to Libby's family tell the story of her well-placed F-bombs and her chocolate chip cookie baking and her fierce way of loving her sons through their family's journey with grief and throughout her life and their journey with Alzheimer's and the little letting goes that they've done for 6 years. What struck me in each instance, number one, was how my heart responded to a loss that wasn't my own, because that is the gift that God gives us. That oneness, when I can stay awake to that oneness, my heart becomes more spacious. But I was given the gift of hearing their small moments of gratitude. Yesterday, they had all of the caregivers who, over those 6 years, as they dealt with how to support Libby in this journey of Alzheimer's, they had them all stand up and be recognized, because their family could not have cared for Libby with such grace and gentleness without their help. So their gratitude for the miracle, the mundane miracle of people who can help change sheets, make a lunch, hear the same story over and over again. I got to be witness to such deep gratitude. This morning, that overwhelming gratitude that I just felt is because the gift of this moment here, this perfect moment on this perfect day, no matter what else is happening exterior-wise, I am overwhelmed with gratitude that every step along the way in my life, it led me to this. You have invited me in and pushed me to grow, and I am so grateful. You have helped me reframe how I have seen some moments in my life that I told a story about for a long time. And that story has shifted. The story has shifted because of my gratitude to you, to the Christ in you that I see when I look out here, when I know that you're all out there in Zoomlandia on that continent. I think that's what we decided last week. It's a continent of Zoomlandia. Harold Kushner says, if you concentrate on finding whatever is good in every situation, you will discover that your life will suddenly be filled with gratitude, a feeling that nurtures the soul. It It's easy. Clearly, it's easy for me to feel the gratitude this morning. It is not always easy for us to feel the gratitude. And so gratitude, like any spiritual practice, can be a practice. It can be a choice. We can lean in to choosing gratitude, to finding the glimmer of something in whatever it is that we are facing that helps us say, yes, I can give thanks for this thing. I can reframe this hard thing that I walked through, because now as I look back, I see that this moment is not possible without that moment. We are broken open if we allow ourselves to be broken open. And when we break open, we find space and grace. Space for grace. The grief can widen our container to hold it. I saw a beautiful little simple meme one day of jars. The grief stayed the same size, but the jars got progressively bigger to hold it. That's what gratitude gives us. It gives us more space to hold all of those things that have cracked us open. So it's incredible today to have a Melinda Wood Allen song, because that was such a huge cracking open experience for me to be at One Spirit in our small but mighty class that graduated in 2016. So I invite you to pause as you move through your day, as we move through the rest of the rhythm of this service. What are those small moments in your life that have broken you open? Who are the hands and hearts that have reached across the illusion of time and space to hold you? That have given generously of their love, of their listening, of their presence, to help the edges of the container in you grow big enough for God to work fully in you, through you, as you, no matter what. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. This is a beloved community. Not because of what I say, not even because of the beautiful music that leads us in, but because of the presencing that we do with and for each other. Thank you. Thank you for calling me in. Thank you for this year. Thank you for all that you call forth in me when I hear the voice of God speaking in your voice. And I ask you to hold this afternoon in gratitude and in prayer the board and I, as we work for about 90 minutes or so this afternoon, to do that kind of reflecting together on where we've been. How have we worked together to live into our mission, to hold the trust and the consciousness of this beloved community, to lovingly give each other feedback for how we want to grow deeper together as a team, as the holders of the trust and the consciousness. We might have the official titles, but it's all of us together that create who we are as the small but mighty and hopefully no longer the best kept secret in Albany community at Unity of Albany. I am so blessed. May we step fully into recognizing that we are the flow of divine love, that we are the hands and the hearts and the voice and the ears of God. And may we be grateful for every small moment in our lives, knowing that it's the gratitude that brings us to recognizing God at work in everything. When we awaken to that presence. And I bow in gratitude to each of you. Amen.